I was playing Gears of War 3 today. I always play Team Deathmatch online, so I joined a quick match and was almost instantly tossed into a full team of Locust on Old Town. I managed to get in quite early, so the score was still only 13 to 10, Locust Cog. I got lucky and was put on the Locust side. As the ever so awesome Thrashball drone, I charged around with the Nasher and was particularly on my game this match, which was awesome since lately I've been in a pretty bad slump. I smoked the COG team, giving player after player in Nasher battle after Nasher battle. I rarely ever do this, so naturally I was particularly excited. I ended the first round on a 9-0 record, so I was pumped for the second round. The second round began with a bang. I rushed for the boomshot spawn and managed to acquire the weapon, although shortly after, I was killed by a COG player with the Torg bow. I remember his name, which I guess I can't use here. So I made it a point, as I always do, to get my Swift Vengeance medal by hunting him down. I charged for the boomshot spawn, and you guessed it, the genius was standing there watching the spawn point with his gun hard aimed at the ground. He hears me coming and turns around, but I manage to gib him with my Nasher before he can get his Torg bow primed, and he rage quit instantly. Here's where it got a little weirder. One by one, in quick succession, players on both sides began dropping out. The score was about 5 to 7, Locust Cog. So I don't understand why everyone simply bailed so quickly after the first player left. So it was just me and the bots. Normally I get bored as hell during bot matches and would leave, but these bots were particularly aggressive. So I decided to just go for it and hope more players would join. No players did, and one by one, the cog was whittled down to 3 bots left: Baird, Bernie, and Hoffman. For some reason, these 3 bots were camped near the boomshot spawn and were whoring the boomshot and the scorcher that spawns up north. At the time, me or one of my bot teammates got near the side of the map. We got smoked. Pretty tough for bots, I thought. Well, the Locust team got cut down to its last 5 players, and the rest of the match had gone. My bot teammates charged towards the boomshot spawn pretty hastily. 3 of the bots were smoked, while another approached Baird. I went with that bot and used it as a distraction, and managed to gib Baird from his side as Baird downed my bot teammate with the scorcher. I went to pick my teammate up, but the Bernie bot had charged me almost instantly. In a split-second reaction, I bounced off a nearby wall and attempted to shoot the Bernie bot, but we traded Nasher kills. I rarely ever see this with bots. Great, it was Hoffman, it was Hoffman and my down teammate. I switched to ghost cam and tried to find out where Hoffman was. Go figure, he was dashing towards my teammate. My teammate happened to get up seconds before Hoffman arrived, but somehow Hoffman flanked the damn thing and downed it with a retro lancer. Normally, a bot would approach and execute a downed player or bot at the end of a match. This time, it didn't. Hoffman stood over the Locust, as if to watch its suffering, aiming the gun toward the floor, and in an almost robotic fashion, as you would know Gears bots do if you ever watch them in Ghost Cam. This is when the glitch kicked in. Most of you would probably know about how on Gridlock you can trigger a special Easter egg that plays an instrumental version of the song Mad World. This kind of thing occurred, as only the first 2 piano notes of Mad World played, then distinctively cut off, followed by 2 or 3 seconds of silence, and the repeat of the same 2 piano notes. And this process repeated as the Hoffman bot just watched my teammate bleed. My teammate should have gotten up after a few seconds, but he didn't. He just kept crawling against the corner of the walls, bleeding out, while Hoffman stood over him. After about 3 passes of the piano notes in silence, a strange sound started playing. It sounded like it was human, so I zoomed in on Hoffman and the bot. Hoffman was crying. Although like Mad World, it was a very crappy sounding clip. It certainly sounded like Hoffman's voice weeping for a couple of seconds, then cutting off and replaying immediately. As its crying began, Hoffman started the ground and pound execution on the locust. As I waited for Hoffman to mash my teammate's face in, Hoffman kept punching. I zoomed out to get a better look, and the execution went on. Hoffman must have punched the locust 20 or so more times than normal, and then immediately walked away from the locust's dying body as the execution went on. The locust was still flailing, and the punching sounds kept going. This was where it took the worst turn. Hoffman approached the fucking ghost cam. He didn't jog by it. He didn't walk around aimlessly. He approached the fucking ghost cam. With his crying sound still playing, he stared directly into the cam, and I noticed his mouth moving, though it didn't seem to match up with the crying. I backed the camera away from Hoffman, and he charged to meet me face to face again. I moved again. So did Hoffman. He followed my ghost cam all the way down to the tunnel by the locust spawn, and drew a bolt-action pistol from his side. It seemed Hoffman was trying to aim it upwards with his forearm only, but since there was apparently no animation for it, the arm began flinching around in a glitchy fashion. From what I could tell, he was trying to aim it up at his own face. Soon after, Hoffman's sound files from the Anvil Gate Act from the campaign played. God damn it, and Bernie! In quick succession. I guess from God damn it, Phoenix, and from one of the times he mentioned Bernie's name, the gun fired. The head pop animation occurred like it usually does for headshots on Gears. Then, just like in campaign, the red objective fails screen and the crimson omen abruptly appeared before Hoffman's dead body even had time to hit the ground. Needless to say, I'm about to ruin my pants, and I turned Gears of War 3 off. What the hell is this? Some glitch? Has anyone else experienced this?